What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Pyro.
Look around. What do you see? What do you see? Open. Open your arms. Open to adventure. Yes. And so, we all rise. We all embrace. We all embrace. Every creature, all one with the light from the heavens. All energy. All energy. All energy. All energy. All energy. We all rise. We all embrace. We all embrace. Every creature, all one with the light from the heavens. All energy. All energy. All energy. All energy. All energy.
opening. Opening to the higher states of consciousness.
I'm so addicted, I just can't get enough. 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 Under a high flying deep inside your love. 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 I'm so addicted, I just can't get enough. I'm so addicted, I just can't get enough. I'm so addicted, I just can't get enough. I'm so addicted, I just can't get enough.
yourself a series of questions. Am I happy with who I am?
Am I happy with who I am?
Am I happy with the people around me?
Am I happy with the people around me?
Am I happy with what I'm doing?
Am I happy with what I'm doing?
Am I happy with the way my life is going?
Am I happy with the way my life is going?
Do I have a life?
Do I have a life?
Or am I just living?
Or am I just living?
Do not let these questions restrain or trouble you. Just point yourself in the direction of your dreams. will strengthen the sound and make your transition.
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 Make your transition. 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 Transition.
Praise.
just to hear a song. Have you ever been Have you ever been hiding? Just to hear a song. Have you ever been Have you ever been hiding? Just to hear a song. Have you ever been
cheers to an excellent warm-up mix there by Mr. Yato this morning, retail trading team. Still waiting to be able to cheers the lovely market, but we're going to need some movement for that. So we'll cheers that nice little batch of music that we had there to start off the day, and we will jump right into our warm-up and get this thing going. So really not too much going on as we start the day off here, which seems to be a trend lately. So we will see if we don't open it up as the day progresses here. We do have some good MGI and other vantage points to explore today, and so we'll get right into those. So this is Mastro coming to you live from Puppet Show Central, and this is your routine briefing. So we'll get a cheers, we'll get a sip of coffee, and we'll get going here. All right. First things first, overnight inventory. Again, you're not seeing that imbalance. Yesterday we had an up imbalance type look. Today it is down imbalanced. So nothing really to look at there. Really the main thing that I'm seeing here is what's going on between the interplay of the open auction dynamic we have and that neutral looking TPO. So we're kind of in this zone here, that 20 to 30 zone. If you look at our levels today, 15 to 35 I think is kind of the important area of that zone. And as we just kind of navigate it, you're going to probably see a lot of that uncertainty and speed and aggression away from edges until one side breaks. And we'll look at some specific levels on the charts as we move forward here. So this briefing is available in the description. If you are unfamiliar, or not the briefing, well, the briefing is linked in the warm-up here, but this warm-up document is in the description, so you can open that up and check it out anytime during the day. Sometimes these levels do change, and I do keep this updated relative to that. And you can check the progress on our various little bots. I will be talking a little more about my friend Fabio here, this tab on the bottom, as the week progresses, and in fact, we may see the removal of Barb altogether if the Fabio results hold. I've been working on those for a couple weeks. Takes a while to backtest these things, so we're cranking through it, and we are into the middle of March almost. So I'm gonna hopefully get a bunch of that done today, and like I said, hopefully before the end of the week we'll have a little spiel on Mr. Fabio. So besides that, you'll see this other tab which I never talk about on the bottom, called Option Strategies and Management, just based on the profile shapes. Again, linked. You can see what I'm looking at there. And in fact, that link is broken, so we're gonna have to take this link here, and we're gonna go ahead and copy and paste because NinjaTrader removed that. And looks like they're doing this with this this link now as well. So yeah, I'll work on that as the day progresses. Remember the good old days when information was free and easy to find? Wow, that's annoying. That literally just happened like today. So I'm gonna get on that, and we'll figure that out. I'm not gonna dwell on this. We're gonna actually just jump to price action now, and I will get that profile shape information up and at 'em. Heck, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna do my own little LinkedIn post on it, so we don't have to worry about this anymore. And by maybe, that's what's gonna happen, because that is an important little asset to our resource folder, and we're gonna want to get that corrected. So anyways, that's warm-up document linked in the description, like every other resource. So let's start with our SPY chart today, getting into the price action stuff. And like I said, a couple good looking price action, I guess that's gonna be the word today. Yesterday was interesting. Today I guess it's price action. You can see here, so let's just kind of zoom in and see what we got going on inside this ellipse. First things first, we have a nice, what's called an outside bar from yesterday, where price pierced the high from the day prior and actually closed lower than the prior day close. It's called an outside bar, and what that just means, this is now a really important candle. So what we just saw here, again, this is SPY is a little bit delayed, because I don't use it to trade off of, but you saw just a few minutes ago we did sweep that low. So now I'm looking for a nice little fake break here around the low. The issue is going to be, at least for my entry, that our POC is now right at that 20 area. So again, really ugly intraday tape. Pretty special actually how bad the intraday tape has been for my strategy for the past couple weeks. So we'll see if that holds, but we're seeing that fake break below that low yesterday, and that trend line is still holding. So watch that candle. Yesterday's SPY candle, I think, is going to be a really important zone as we trade around it, trade into it, trade below it, etc. I'll be watching that candle closely as it does, I think, represent the final defense of the bears of this major trend line going back to that October 13th low. And now we have a really good vantage point around that candle. In terms of these arrows, where are they pointing at? So the first one, well, they're both pointing at those two gaps that we have in the SPY chart from last week's explosion. And that first one corresponds, you can see that 50 SMA, and then that lower one there, that's going to be the interesting one. You have a lot of stuff down there. You have the 100 SMA, you have the POC from the all-time high, and then you have the 200 SMA looming slightly below that. So those are really the downside targets, I think. Keep it simple, looking at those two areas. And obviously to the upside, we start to break above yesterday's high, especially getting above this trend line. I think that is when we start to see kind of a continuation of that move. I'm actually going to move the supply zone just a wee bit lower, something like that. And you can kind of see our levels there. So if you want to get a little more granular, look at intraday. So specifically, by the way, that level on SPY is 407.24. I am using that specific SPY level as my major vantage point for today, at least to the downside. Looks like we got disconnected. So I'm going to just repeat what I said, which is 407.24 in the SPY is my major point for today. Looking for that nice long play potentially above it. Again, we'll look at the execution chart. Near the end of the briefing here, you can see that POC is kind of annoyingly close, so it's going to be tough entry there. But I think that 407.24, just in general, especially for 0DT types, out of the other money options, etc., watch that 407.24 on the SPY. So moving on from the macro chart, we're going to jump into TPO land, to the world's ugliest TPO. We did get a little bit of cleanup yesterday, which is nice. However, you can see now that did create two singles on the upside. So we're cut between two emotional and impulsive moves. What is the below? Referring to what, Mr. Juiceball? Good morning to you, sir. I'll see what your answer to that is, and I will respond, of course. So in the meantime, you can see we're kind of stuck between these two singles. You have that 105-ish area to the downside. I really think that zone, so just going back to the warm-up, because I think these levels are particularly strong today, it's really 4090 to 4100, I would say, are the major levels. So you can see those singles down there. I do think that we go all the way to 4100 if we do get down there. HVN, high value node. So to answer your question, Mr. Juiceball, we'll pop back to that macro real quick. So above is just going to be the high from yesterday. I think that's easy enough. And then below here, we're filling in this low volume node. So that's kind of why I think we can expect to see some more dip buying opposed to that sustained breakdown, in my opinion, unless we do really start to build time and volume below 40.95. And then that node down here is about 30.96, we'll say. Really, I think it's just one giant lump of demand from, let's say, 95 to 400. So that's about 50 points on the ES. I'm not really looking too much at the volume profile. I have it here just kind of to give us those major vantage points, which is really just that POC. So we'll say 95 if the bears really get 395 if the bears really get feisty. But more than likely, we might see some, if we do get down there again, huge if, we might see some time and volume build out around maybe between 398 and 400 here, and we might see this POC shift up. So if I had a crystal ball it, that's what I think is going on the macro side. I'm really most concerned about those gaps, and making to that 50 SMA will be a gift from the gods, as they say, because I think that will come with an expansion volatility. So speaking of volatility, before we go back to the TPO, I actually like to discuss this in the macro look here. You can see that we are still consolidating in that channel, really potentially building out a nice little inverse head and shoulders if you want the bear case. I'm not too hopeful until we get above 2180. That remains the number. That's been my number since the 30th, 29th, whenever we lost that level. That has been the number on the volatility side, so that remains to be important for me there. So really, I'm just watching 2180 or a move at that low. I do have this channel drawn just to kind of track it intraday. You can see a nice potential base coming out here. So if we do start to get that break, I will take a breakout trade to the downside. If we make a new low here, and then the 10-minute candle closes, and that's followed by another lower low, I will take that breakout trade. Again, not too stoked about it, given where we are relative to that 4100 area. I think there's a lot of demand down there, yet that will be a signal. So above 2180 on that volatility, I think is what we're looking at if you want to talk about a potential to move toward that SPY gap. And just one more time, anybody who's late to the party, that SPY gap is at about 402 area. Let me get you let's get a exact reading on this real quick here. So stand by, please. The exact number on that SPY gap is going to be, depending on whether you look at the close or the high, I'll just give you that range. It's going to be 401.35 to about 401.60. 401.35 to about 401.60, and I'll actually put this in here so we have a reminder for tomorrow. 401.35 to 401.60. So that's our macro levels. So now we can pop back into the TPO. And so we got going on intraday again, stuck between those two blocks of singles near that 4100 area and above us near that 4142 to 45. I'm really not too concerned about these. I said it a couple minutes ago. I just want to repeat. I'm not thinking that these are going to be super important for resistance and or support. You know, you might see some type of rotation around them, both upside and downside. I think it's really just based on that psychologically important 4100 level on the downside, and to the upside, if we do get above that 35 zone, get above the overnight high, that's when I think we're just going to straight go retrace at least near that high from yesterday. We'll say 4150, again, psychologically important, but I'm not too concerned about these singles on the downside hanging out here. So we're getting that little down move toward these. Again, just really not the nicest look for a short. I will take it in 8 minutes if we get that lower low here, just based on mechanics. But again, not a high quality short given the proximity of that 95 to 100 zone. So watch that. Singles, obviously, like I said, potential spot to turn around, but it's really what happens at 4100. On the SPX, we are below 4100, so that is also good for the bear case. I just want to point that out as well. So that is all the price action activity I have for you. I'll just zoom out the TPO a little bit in case we do get that extended move. You can see that there's a poor load near that 4080 area, 4086. Again, I think 4095 to 4100, that's the big battle zone. Bulls lose that, where we might just chop right through these and start to clean it up. And do we get down anytime soon to clean up this junk here? Hey, who knows? We got to get through 4100 first. So seeing no other questions or comments in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and conclude our lovely briefing there. The newsletter will be out by 11, and I will be on Twitch normal time at noon. First hour we'll have a set by actual DJs, and I will make your ears bleed for the second with one of my own. So please feel free to hit me up on either of those platforms, or on Twitch, or on Twitter at Routine Trader. And I'd appreciate any engagement in the comment section of this video as well. And of course, that all important like to help with the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, so in any case, thanks for watching. Cheers to you, and stay classy until tomorrow.